Now, guys, one of the things that we're doing again is inviting you into the world of worlds and worlds and worlds and worlds and worlds that I create. Man, that's crazy. As soon as we started talking, let the dog start moving, which is crazy, y'all. Fitness. How did I get into fitness? I actually got into fitness for two reasons. One, for Negroes, and two, because my dad went to prison. So I went to a school when I was a kid. I used to be a very small person, believe it or not. And in elementary school, I was picked on. And in certain environments, they're a little bit more tumultuous. What that means is the way they respond when they're frustrated is with fist. They either gonna flame you, is what we call joning you. There's so many words they use to cook you. I mean, it's like, man, the words have changed over the years, but they gonna fight you for sure. So you look up and you get beat up. I'm talking beat up in brawls. It's just like, dude, who wants to experience this? So my grandfather ended up dying in the 8th grade. Well, when I was in the 8th grade, not he was in the 8th grade. He ended up dying when I was in the 8th grade. And remember, I said I had to do the 8th grade over. So my dad said I was the kid who had to go live with his mom. And I remember Papa's, what I call my grandfather, that one particularly, he had a curl bar. And that curl bar is, I saw him do it every morning. So I remember my dad saying, hey, you got to go live with mom, which is his mom's, and go to school. So I was like, oh my gosh. I don't remember thinking nothing about school. I just remember thinking, I got to go deal with these folks again. And I had just come from being in Blue Springs, Missouri, where fighting is the least of your concern. This is like the last thing on your mind is throwing hands every day or getting slapped around or talking bad about each other or brawling or playing BB Butcher, open chest, doorknob, all these rough games, to say the least. Chicken. Stand there and you hold your hand and you boom, boom. Y'all hit each other back and forth to see whose chicken's out. Like, this wasn't going on in the white areas. Let's just be very clear. It just wasn't happening. Hey, man, y'all want to play BB Butcher? If you said something with the B, you'd have to hit it. Somebody would get hit until you said BB Butcher. And we would play doorknob in class. I'm never going to forget being in English class and somebody would call off doorknob. You have to get up in the middle of an English class and try to touch the door while everybody's hitting you. Go, what's going on in this school? These are real things, people. And if someone called out open chest, this was more high school time, somebody would just jump back and go, just hit you dead in the center of your chest. And I've seen a lot of people fold. And I can name names of people who played that game and tore people up. So this violence got me back into fitness, or got me into it. And I remember doing 50 curls in the morning, 50 curls at night, 50 curls in the middle of the day. And anytime I went to my room and walked past the curl bar, I would do that, abs, etc. So it's funny because some people have a fitness story rooted in wanting to be big and strong and you know, have abs and arms and such. So I was just like, man, I got to deal with these brothers. And then it turned into a thing. Then my dad got out of jail and he treated me like his yard partner. Like, hey, buddy, we finna do 100 pull-ups. And you're like, oh my goodness. I remember one time I did so many pull-ups, my back was sitting on the back of my arms. And my grandma was like, you know, you can't work out with your dad. He don't know when to quit. Now I have the same condition. But fitness for me has turned into something that is not just a way of life. It's something that it's taking charge of the world, kind of. I think definitely in America. And fit is relative to your needs, meaning, hey, I love seeing old people in general, just go on walks. I think nature is a good way to stay fit. I think the weights are clearly beyond a reasonable doubt one of the best ways to stay fit. But I don't think you need abs, arms, quads, and hamstrings with you know, 10 carat diamond calves to call yourself fit. Fit is what's suitable for you. And that's what we're going to be articulated and showing as well. Because objectively, now I just kind of stay fit for the dogs and focus on being fit for the brand. But in that, I became obsessed with how far I could push fitness. And then that obsession led to learning about bodybuilding, ergonomics, injury prevention, joints, muscle formulation, eccentric, concentric, myosin, actin. I became obsessed with reading everything I could about the body because my natural function in life is to be informed and to know. So it started with a few brothers that I remember potentially having to go and deal with again because I started off at C.A. Burke in South Kansas City. And then I went out to a school called Daniel Young for a little while. Then I ended up back at Burke because my dad got out of jail. And then he turned around and went back to jail. And the irony is my fifth grade teacher, Miss Yoakum, was his fifth grade teacher. So when she saw, she said, Clarence, is that you? Oh, yeah, Miss Yoakum. So almost 20 years later, well, less than 20 years technically, I'm sitting right there with his old teacher, man. But I will tell you this. Fitness is a way of life. Fitness is a choice you make every day. Fitness is something that you always feel better doing. Fitness is one of our driving forces. Fitness is something that keeps us motivated. And fitness is something that de-stresses you. It really does de-stresses you. So in this, I'm going to walk you through how I'm going to get back fit, injuries I've suffered over the years, what fitness means, how to look at fitness, how I look at fitness from a perspective standpoint. If you're here, you've seen some of the stories that are up here. I've saved a lot of lives because of my obsession about ergonomics, movement, and so many other things. Became the head of wellness for a huge company at a very young age because of what I learned and obsessed about relative to fitness. Like, man, fitness. What does it mean to be health? What does wellness mean? Let's talk about it. Let's define it. Let's work through it and stay tuned because whiskey, walks, and a few dogs, man, you can go somewhere with those three things. I want a cigar every now and then. And of course, good food.